Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Following on from the video I did about my Christmas 2017 favourites, I want to try and do a monthly favourites video throughout the year about the things I've been doing and watching and listening to and buying, etc. Just to give you a sense of what's been going on in my life during the month, and maybe you'll want to check out some of the blog posts I refer to or videos I refer to during this, because there are some things that I write about in my blog and don't make videos on, and there may be videos you've missed, and maybe other things that I don't post about in either place, to be honest. So it's just a nice way to kind of give you a little bit of a recap and just let you know what I've been up to, really. So this is the first one for January this year, and I hope you enjoy it. So I started the year off by getting my 200th YouTube subscriber, which was fantastic. Thank you very much to whoever that was. I'm now up to about 220 now, so I've gained like 20 subscribers in a month, which is wonderful. It's not huge figures compared to other huge YouTube stars, but the fact for me that my channel just keeps ticking up gradually is lovely. Same with my Twitter feed as well. I've now got 300 followers on there. I just tipped over that milestone this month too. So to all my new followers, thank you very much for joining. I hope I can keep you entertained, and if there's anything you want to see, by all means let me know. Same goes for all my regular followers as well, who've been following me for a while. Thank you for sticking with me, and if there's anything you want to see, by all means let me know. I'm also active obviously on Instagram as well. I've been playing about with the stories function there a bit, as well as trying to post photos regularly. I'm going to be posting daily photos during February, in fact, for Rare Disease Day. They've got an Instagram challenge going on for Rare Disease Day at the end of the month. So I'm going to have a go at that and see how I get on with it. So my social media's been doing very well at the beginning of the year. It's got a nice positive start. So let's hope that keeps carrying forward. On my blog, as well as my Christmas favourites post, I finally got around to doing a DVD and Blu-ray haul, which I also posted on here as well as a video. I've also done a post about another scam email I got from PayPal. I've done a few posts about scam emails. I've done one video on here as well, but I've done another post on my blog about a scam email I got pretending to be from PayPal. So do go and look at that, because it's important to be aware of what to look for. And then perhaps most significantly, on the vlogging front, the RNIB have featured some extracts of the How I See video that I did last year in their compilation of various people's contributions. So that's on their YouTube channel and their Twitter feed and their Facebook page. So it's been great that they've included me. I'm very flattered and very happy to be involved in the campaign. But obviously the main thing I've been posting about are the things that I've been getting out and about and doing. The major thing in January that you will have noticed if you've been following my YouTube channel or my blog is the Harry Potter studio tour. That was without a doubt the highlight of the month, because it's an amazing place. There's just so much going on there. I've done a video on it. I've done a blog post. I've also posted about the stuff I bought there. And I've done another video just of the footage that I shot there without me rambling over it. I've posted various photos on Instagram and my Facebook page. So go and check all that out. It was an amazing day out. And I really want to go back there and kind of explore it in more detail. I could definitely spend a whole day there, because I only spent like an evening there, just a few hours this time. So I'd love to go back there and just really explore it all in even more detail. Like I say, spend a whole day there. That would be awesome. But then I also went to the British Library's exhibition, Harry Potter, A History of Magic, as well. I went with Emily from Fashionista, who very kindly invited me along. And that's got loads of stuff in it that inspired J.K. Rowling to write her books. There's a lot of things in there from real life or real life beliefs, I suppose, if you like, about magic from history that have a place in the Harry Potter stories. Some of the things are real or are based on real things. So it's really, really interesting. There's lots of great objects in there, such as the Ripley scroll, which was a real thing about how to create the Philosopher's Stone. Someone had made this really long scroll with lots of lovely artwork on it and stuff. So that's really lovely to see. I think what fascinated Emily and I most were the illustrations, not just by Jim Kay, who's done the illustrated editions of the books, and other illustrators as well, but Jim Kay was like the main one they featured. But there's also illustrations and sketches by J.K. Rowling herself as well, which are beautiful. They're really, really detailed and well done. So, she could have illustrated the books herself if she'd really wanted to. Pretty much all of it had never been on public display before, so that was really fascinating. And then I've been to other museums as well. I've been to the Science Museum. I've had a look around their Information Age gallery, which is really interesting, about communications and telephony and satellites and all that kind of stuff, all the ways that information has been sort of shared and disseminated and communicated over the past couple of centuries. And I used an app for that. They've got an AudioWise app that they specifically developed for that exhibition that uses Bluetooth on your phone to recognise where you are. and then tells you about the zone you're in, and then it can give you audio description for specific objects within those zones. So I gave that a go. That was quite good. It's a little bit temperamental now and again, the app, maybe, but on the whole, it worked well, when you could find the objects that it was referring to. So it wasn't perfect, but it was definitely useful and added a bit more to the experience. It was great being able to have the extra descriptions for the objects. And then another museum I used an app for was the Tate Modern. They've got an app as well. I hadn't been there since I was a kid. I think I went there with the family. I've posted a bit of footage of it before on this channel way back. But this time I wanted to go and explore kind of it properly, just to get a feel for the space and what was in there. And they have an app that allows you to do that. So they've got a couple of audio tours, one that tells you about the building in general, what's in the turbine hall at the bottom, the huge turbine hall. At the moment, they've got a load of swings in there and a multicoloured carpet coming down the slope and a big swinging metal ball. That was different. It's quite interesting. And then the building tour takes you up to the very top floor as well, to level 10. So you get the view over London and the river. It's beautiful up there. It's a stunning view. So that was really good. And then there's also a highlights tour of some of the artworks in various galleries. So it just gave me a nice little tour of the museum, just to give me a sense of what was there. And it definitely makes me want to go back and explore that in more detail. And I've also been back to the Victoria and Albert Museum as well. I've been looking around a bit more of their Europe exhibition. I did that last year. I started off in one of the rooms in the Europe exhibition using their large print guide and audio off their website as well. They've got a website for that gallery, which has kind of audio to go with some of the objects in there. Not audio description necessarily, but just, curators or people connected with the exhibition talking about the objects. Sometimes you get a bit of music as well, kind of from the period being discussed and, the area being discussed. But yeah, that's really interesting as well. It's really good. The first time I went there back in December was to help a wonderful young lady with her PhD she's doing into museum accessibility. And then this month I went back again on my own to explore a couple more rooms of the Europe Gallery, because there's 7 rooms in there. I only did one last time. I did 1.5 this time. So yeah, I've got to go back there and explore more of it. And there's various other bits in the Victoria and Albert Museum I will look at as well. There's a Winnie the Pooh exhibition I'd like to visit. They've got an Ocean Liners exhibition they've just opened, or just about to open apparently, so that should be quite interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of great stuff in that museum. And of course, just down the road from there, you've got the Science Museum and the Natural History Museum. This time of year, when it's kind of cold and wet and miserable outside a lot of the time, going to museums is an easy option, because you can just go in somewhere nice and warm and just look around at your leisure. It's great not being a tourist anymore. It's great that I have the time to go into a museum and just slowly browse and really take everything in, just enjoy it, rather than coming up on holiday and thinking, I just want to look at as much as I can in a museum, and perhaps you don't focus on each gallery quite so much. You just look for the key things. So it's nice just to be able to live here and just take your time over that kind of thing. I've also been to the theatre this month as well. I went to see the Beauty and the Beast pantomime with East London Vision. So that was great. That was really good fun, a great laugh as usual. We had a touch tour on the stage beforehand, and we got to meet the pantomime dame, who was dressed up in a couple of really fancy elaborate outfits. That was really, really fun. And then we got audio description during the show as well. And yeah, we really enjoyed it. There was lots of good music in there, songs that everyone could recognise, and there was good humour and all the rest of it. So that was good. I was also going to go and see A Christmas Carol with Mum at the Old Vic as well, but unfortunately we couldn't go because we were both struck down by colds this month. But I was glad I was able to get out to one theatre show, so that was great. And I've got another one I'm booked onto now in March. I'm going to go and see Wicked in March, so I'm really looking forward to that. And there are other shows I want to kind of get onto as well. So yeah, I'm going to obviously go to the theatre regularly, because that's one of the things I enjoy. So I'm glad I'm already kind of booking onto things for the year ahead. But at home I've also been watching stuff as well on the TV and on my computer and stuff. On the TV there have been various new episodes of comedy shows that I like, which is great. The Last Legs come back, which is wonderful. I love that show, and I was in the audience for it last year, which is brilliant. QI, Room 101, Would I Lie to You, 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. All those shows have all had new episodes this month, which is brilliant. Channel 4 also did their annual Big Fat Quiz of Everything. That's always fun. A more grown-up, kind of harder quiz was Celebrity Mastermind on BBC One. That's something that Mum and I watch every year, because they put that on around New Year, the celebrity version. We don't watch the normal Mastermind, we just watch the celebrity ones. It just seems a bit easier. You won't find us watching like University Challenge or Only Connect or something, because it just blows our minds. We just can't do those. But Celebrity Mastermind is fun, especially when you get someone you know on there. Another programme I caught as well was Matilda and Me on Sky Arts. I went to see the Matilda musical last year and loved it. It was easily my favourite show last year that I went to see. because the kids in that are amazing, the music's amazing. So I saw Matilda and Me on Sky Arts, and yeah, it had lots of interviews with Tim Minchin and his sister and other people involved with the production, telling us about how the show was created and how Tim Minchin got involved and stuff like that, and all about its move to Australia after opening in England and stuff. So it was really, really interesting. It was really good, like behind the scenes insight. So I really enjoyed that. I'm glad I just happened to catch it. In terms of DVDs, there's only one DVD I've bought this month, and that is Harry Potter: A History of Magic. This is a documentary that goes with the British Library exhibition. So you've got interviews with J.K. Rowling throughout, which are really interesting. Talking about the influences on her from history in terms of people and objects and beliefs about magic and stuff like that. And you've got people from the British Library talking about the history and showing some of the objects that are in the exhibition, so you get a good close-up look at some of those. And it's just all really, really interesting. It's a lovely documentary. There's some readings from the books as well, read by some of the stars of the film, including Warwick Davis. It's narrated by Imelda Staunton. So yeah, it's a really good documentary. If you're a Harry Potter fan, it's definitely one for the collection because it's really, really good. So apart from that, in DVD terms, I've been watching some of the DVDs I bought last year that I told you about in my haul before. So I've watched The Big Bang Theory Season 10 and The Simpsons Season 18. I've binge watched both of those. They're both very good. You've got plenty of extras on both. Big Bang's my favourite of the two, but they're both great shows. Big Bang's episodes I've seen on E4 before when I've watched the series there before, whereas The Simpsons, because I didn't have Sky One in the past, I didn't see kind of the newer episodes. So yeah, all these Simpsons episodes are new to me, which is great. They're more exciting in that sense. And both DVD sets have, decent sets of extras on. The Big Bang Theory's got a few kind of behind the scenes chats with people. It's got a blooper reel, it's got a Comic-Con panel, and The Simpsons have got their regular audio commentaries on every episode, some of which are more interesting than others, and there's some deleted scenes and other bits and pieces. So yeah, they've both got extras on there. Hopefully they'll keep releasing The Simpsons again now, because they had stopped before. I think they're bringing this season out just to kind of test the waters again to see how the sales go. Hopefully they've sold enough that they'll keep releasing seasons 19, 20, etc. because people want to complete their sets. So thankfully the demand brought these box sets back, and hopefully they'll keep coming out again. As for films, I don't really watch that many. I keep meaning to put more time aside to kind of see them, but I never kind of get around to it. I am thinking of kind of getting like a cinema pass or something that will get me like into the cinemas at a cheap rate. If I use it regularly, that would be quite cool. It'd give me more of an incentive to go, I think. But yeah, I don't really watch a lot of films really, and I should. But I did last year watch Finding Nemo for the first time because Emily from Fashionista had been completely shocked that I'd never seen it, which is fair enough. So this month I watched Finding Dory, the sequel to it. And it's a lovely film. It's really, really good. It's just as good as the first film, if not slightly better perhaps, because Dory's a really cute character. She's really fun, and I like the fact there's a visually impaired character in this film as well, Destiny. And it's not just Destiny, of course. There are various other characters with disabilities of some description in the Finding Nemo films. You've got Nemo with his damaged fin, and you've got Dory with her short-term memory loss and so on. So yeah, they're really lovely films. The animation's gorgeous as always. You wouldn't expect anything less from Disney and Pixar. The acting's great, the music's great, the story's lovely. So yeah, I'm really glad I've seen both of those films finally now, Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. I've finally got around to it. And Emily's recommended various other films and TV shows for me to check out as well. So I've got a little list from her of things I need to watch, which is good because she's got great taste. So thank you very much, Emily. That's fantastic. That's got plenty to keep me going for a little while. And then finally, moving on to things I've been listening to. I've been getting back into audiobooks this year. I've never kind of listened to lots of them, but now I'm a home worker, I've got more time to listen to things during the day. So I've been listening to like radio shows and podcasts and things. So I'm kind of adding audiobooks into the mix as well now, because it's ideal, when I'm working from home, just to have something like that on in the background to listen to. I've been listening to a couple of audiobooks this month, and I'll try and do, at least a couple every month. So the first audiobook I've been listening to is the audiobook of the year by the No Such Thing as a Fish podcast team. They are the team of researchers behind the TV show QI. So they get together once a week to do a podcast about some of the facts they've discovered. Often very humorous, it's often very funny, those podcasts, as well as interesting, just like the TV show. So they're always great to listen to. So they've now done what is effectively a 9-hour podcast for their audiobook, really. It's based on a book they've written. And it's basically a list of facts on various topics that they've discovered during 2017. Kind of arranged in alphabetical order, although, there's various topics within topics, so it can get quite random as well, to be fair. So it's not quite as much banter as there would be in a normal podcast, because obviously they are actually reading the book between them. You get the whole team, all four of them involved. But there are, little asides and bits of banter and jokes here and there. So it does still feel like a podcast in that respect. I mean, you can really treat it as 26 kind of short podcasts if you want to, because, it's divided up into, the letters of the alphabet, again, just like the TV show. And it's a great book. It's really interesting. There's lots of fun stuff in there. So if you like QI, then check out the No Such Thing as a Fish podcast and also the book as well. It's really, really good. And then the other audiobook I've been listening to rather inevitably is the first Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I've listened to those audiobooks a few times in the past, but it's been a few years since I last listened to them. So this was as good excuse as any to get back into them after all the Harry Potter stuff I've been doing, with the studio tour and the British Library Exhibition and the walk-in tour I did last year, and going to see The Cursed Child at the theatre last year as well. So yeah, it just seemed a natural step to kind of get back into the books again as well. Stephen Fry is really great at reading them, and they're obviously great stories. So I've listened to one book in January. I'll try and alternate those books with other books as well to give me a variety, so it's not just all Harry Potter all the way through, but certainly over the next few months I'm going to aim to get through all the Harry Potter books again. And then, I ought to watch the films again as well, so I'll probably end up doing that this year as well. So it's going to be quite a Harry Potter themed year in that respect, but I don't mind that. They're great books, they're great films. And in terms of audiobooks, because I'm listening to more audiobooks this year, I've been inevitably getting more into Audible this year, where you can buy and download thousands of audiobooks on all sorts of different subjects and from all sorts of different authors. So I bought the No Such Thing as a Fish book from there. I already had the Harry Potter books anyway, but you can download them off Audible as well. So I'm thinking of upgrading my subscription level to get more free credits, especially as I'm getting Mum more into Audible as well. Up until now, she's really just listened to books we've either bought in the past, on CD, or she's getting books off RNIB's Overdrive service that, borrow like an online library, which, is really useful, but they don't have all the books you could possibly want on there. And it's nice to buy and keep books for yourself as well if you're going to listen to them regularly. So I'm getting Mum into Audible a bit more now. She couldn't come on my computer and kind of order the Audible books herself because she can't see well enough to do that. But what we have done is bought an Amazon Echo Dot. Because we never had one of these Amazon Echo devices before, but I've been tempted to try one for a while, so I thought, well, we'll get one. So we've been playing about with it a little bit, asking it various questions, checking out the weather, checking out the status of the tube here in London. Mum's tried listening to a new audiobook on it as well, just asking it to play it. That's worked nicely. It works really well for all sorts of things. So we're just kind of getting used to it. It's quite unusual having a little machine in the corner that you talk to. I think it feels quite unusual for Mum in particular, because she's never used a voice-activated device like that. She said it feels strange, asking someone or something to do something, without saying please. You just ask it to do it, just tell it, and it does it. This is very, very different to what she's used to, which is understandable. So yeah, we're gradually having a little play with that. If you want me to do a video on using certain skills or something, or there's fun things or productive things you want to see me do with the machine, then by all means let me know. I'm happy to try things out and do videos on it. Other than that, I still listen to stuff from the radio. I listen to stuff like Sounds of the 80s and Sounds of the 70s and things like that. Podcasts, the most significant one this month has been the Christian O'Connell Breakfast Show's podcast. I've been listening to that for about a year or so now. I found it shortly after I started homeworking last year, and listened back through some of their older podcasts from the year before, because it's just really fun. There's lots of great banter on there. And then in January, Christian announced he's leaving. So just a year after I discover a show that he's been doing for 12 years, he's off. He's off to Australia to present a breakfast show over there, which is a massive opportunity, and fair play to him for taking it. But yeah, he's a great DJ. He's really funny. He feels like a mate, just talking to you. You feel like you just go out and hang out down the pub with him, even though you've never met him. So yeah, it'd be a shame to see him go, and it'll be interesting to see what happens to his partner Richie and Glenn and Emma as well on the news team there. So yeah, it'll be a great shame to see him go. It'll be interesting to see how the breakfast show evolves without him, who they replace him with, etc. But yeah, I wish Christian O'Connell all the best of luck. He definitely deserves it, all the stuff he's done. He's not just done radio presenting, he's an author as well. He's done a couple of books called Radio Boy, which I'm going to check out. I'm going to check out the audiobooks on Audible because they sound quite fun. And he does stand-up comedy as well, so he's very versatile, and he's just great. And then finally, I've also bought one music album this month as well. I bought Jason Manford's A Different Stage, which I've been meaning to get for a while. I've known him for his stand-up for quite a while. I like his podcast on Absolute Radio as well. He's a very, very funny guy. I was aware he'd been doing kind of, musicals, and he'd made this album. So I've kind of heard clips of him singing, but I've not really kind of listened to him fully. So I really wanted to get the album and try it out, and it's amazing. He's got a superb voice, and it really draws you in. It's quite a shock when you're used to just seeing him talking on the telly and stuff, but to hear him sing, he's got a really, really, really good voice. And some songs on there I know, so it's great to hear his interpretations of them. And some of the songs I weren't so familiar with. So yeah, it's a really great album. There's not really a favourite track for me on there because they're all great. It's hard to pick out one really standout track because they're all beautifully done. So yeah, it's a really great album. If you like Jason Manford and if you like kind of songs from the shows and things, then check the album out because it's really, really good. And then I've already got a few bits and pieces planned in my calendar over the next few weeks and months as well, which is great. There's a few outings in February that I'm really looking forward to because they'll be quite fun and interesting. And then in March, there's something really significant that I'm doing, something else that I've never ever done before. So I'm quite nervous about it, but I also know it's going to be great fun. And I'm really looking forward to meeting the people that I'm going to be meeting. And then, yeah, there's a few other bits and pieces planned in March as well that I'm also going to enjoy. And then in April, we've got the Anaridia Network Conference as well in London. So if you've got Anaridia or you've got any connection with Anaridia, go on the Anaridia Network's website, anaridia.org.uk. And yeah, there's all details about the conference on there. The organisation's actually just become a registered charity, a formally properly registered charity, which is brilliant. So yeah, that would be a really great conference. It'd be really interesting to go there and meet other people connected with Anaridia, because I went to the Nystagmus Networks one for the first time last year, so the Anaridia one this year will be fun too. So yeah, there's various bits and pieces to look forward to, not all of which I can tell you about, but the details will be forthcoming once they've happened. Don't forget also that Rare Disease Day is coming up at the end of February on the 28th. There's an Instagram challenge going on at the moment throughout the month I'm taking part in. There's various other bits and pieces on their website, ways you can take part. They're encouraging people to paint their faces in various creative ways. You could do that if you wanted to, or just help to raise awareness of rare conditions, like mine, like Anaridia and Nystagmus, or whatever disability or condition that you have or someone that you know has any sort of rare diseases and conditions and things. It's a perfect opportunity to highlight them. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video with my little recap of January. I'm always open to recommendations for things to try out, like TV, films, audiobooks, music, podcasts, whatever it may be, and also skills for the Amazon Echo now as well. So yeah, by all means, send me recommendations of things you want me to try out and perhaps write about or make videos about. Always open to suggestions. But I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found it interesting. Thank you very much for watching. Do like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I will see you for another video very, very soon. Bye.